A lot of Bears fans, I think, were incredibly curious as to what this organization was going to do this offseason. I'm not talking about the quarterback position. Let's not put the cart before the dead horse here. I'm talking about what they were going to do with the offensive coordinator role. Because they fired Mark Helfrich, even though he was never given play calling responsibilities like a real offensive coordinator would. That fell under Matt Nagy's helm the past 2 seasons. Yeah, we're going to fire him because we're disappointed in the way the run game produced. Even though play calling has a lot to do with that, and Mark Helfrich wasn't the one that ultimately had the final say-so on the game plan and the plays called. But whatever. Since Matt Nagy appears to be a bit of an egomaniac and control freak, instead of acknowledging his shortcomings, acknowledging that it didn't work, acknowledging that he might need some help or he might do what most sensible coaches would do, that is, delegate responsibilities appropriately and have an offensive coordinator that actually has real play calling capabilities. They decided they were going to go down the token route, but entertain other people. And the first name you really heard brought up was Pat Shurmur, which I kind of queefed at, if you would. Is what the hell makes you think that Pat Shurmur would come here to this sorry organization, this dead freaking situation, this kind of lame duck situation where you know Trubisky sucks, you're not going to have play calling duties, and there's a potential you get fired after 1 season. Of course he didn't come. Why the hell would he? He saw Drew Lock and the ability to actually call plays in Denver and said, give me that all day long, dog. And who could blame him? And how sad is that for Chicago Bears fans? That a guy like Pat Shurmur, a respected offensive coordinator, horrible head coach, but respected offensive coordinator, you have the opportunity to bring him in, but knowing damn good and well you're not giving him play calling duties. You know they weren't giving him play calling duties. Matt Nagy's not going to surrender his play calling duties. There's no way. His ego and insecurity would not allow that. Pat Shurmur looked at that situation, looked at Drew Lock and said, I think Drew Lock is a lot better. I'm going to go there because I think that situation is better. If that isn't an indictment on the Chicago Bears, I don't know what the hell was. Then you were hearing reports about Mike Kafka. So they didn't get their first option apparently in Pat Shurmur. Then there was thoughts about being Mike Kafka. And they didn't get him either. But today we found out who they did get. I saw some idiot talking about how good of a job Ryan Pace does keeping a tight ship. Who gives a crap? The idiot continues to make bad decisions and bad moves. I wouldn't want to be revealing them in public either any earlier than I had to. I wouldn't want to leak them. I wouldn't want people to know how stupid I am. The Bears hired their token worthless offensive coordinator today. And his former Dolphins and former Bengals, oh, that's going to inspire a lot of fear, offensive coordinator, Bill Lazor. Bill Lazor. This is such a typical mediocrity of the Midway, Chicago Bears, we suck move if there ever has been one. Trubisky wasn't the only problem with this team. As sizable as an anchor as he was, weighing down this offense and this team as a whole. Nagy's play calling didn't help. Nagy was not good. So, of course, we dig in our heels and allow the guy who hasn't really established that he's proven the right to make all of these shots and so stubbornly cling to his power over play calling that we're going to kowtow to him, capitulate to him, and let him keep it. Even though theory suggests that it should be given to somebody else because he wasn't cut out for it last year. And he didn't have Vic Fangio and that elite defense of 2018 to back him up anymore. He had Chuck Pagano's somewhat underperforming, non-forcing turnover defense this year. Easy for me to say. It's such a Chicago Bears move, isn't it? To bring in an offensive coordinator to a very unappealing role where anybody worth a crap would not want to work with Trubisky, would not want to work with Nagy, would not want to sit there and come to a situation where they could potentially be fired after a year, where they're not going to have any play calling duties, so they're going to be saddled with this crap. Like, only a desperate bum and somebody in over their head for the role would actually take this job, which is exactly what the hell Bill Lazor is, and it's no surprise that he took the dang job. Because this is so typical Chicago Bears. They looked at the guy and they said, you know what? You can't have competition driving up the price if nobody's going to bid for him. So let's go after the guy that didn't have a coordinator job in the NFL or even college in 2019. We're going to catch everybody on the marketplace off guard, and we're going to be able to underbid by 30, 40, 50% compared to anybody else. That sounds exactly like something cheap-ass Ted Phillips and this cheap-ass, mediocre-ass, I wish Virginia would die quicker, freaking McCaskey family would do. That's exactly what the hell they would do. Like, imagine looking at a guy like Bill Lazor and his resume. Not even 2 full years in Miami as an offensive coordinator, and they sucked. Then you look at, he was a quarterback coach in Cincinnati for 1 year. Okay, cool, 2016. The 2 years he was actually in charge as offensive coordinator in 2017 and 2018, the Bengals' offense absolutely sucked. Or were they in total yards as an offense? 32nd in 2017, 26th in 2018. In total points scored, 26th in 2017, 17th in 2018. Somebody in that organization like Matt Nagy or Ryan Pace took a look at this guy's resume. He hasn't even lasted 2 years in either of his previous 2 opportunities. The 2 opportunities he had, his offensive unit stunk. And then, oh, by the way, the running games under Lazor were not great. Which is part of the reason that you fired your token offensive coordinator, Helfrich, to begin with. None of this makes any damn sense except for you realize that the Chicago Bears are a clown show. Run by people that are not smart when it comes to football. Run by people that do not care. They do not have urgency. They are getting your money. And as long as idiotic Bear fans continue to go to that spaceship that took a dump in the Roman Coliseum of Soldier Field and continue to pay out for their PSLs, continue to buy concessions, continue to buy the jerseys, continue to watch them on TV, continue all these things, they have no reason or incentive to change, and they're not going to do it. The only good thing about this hire is it potentially doesn't matter for a couple of reasons. Number one, Lazor's not the play caller anyways. Nobody else they brought in was going to be the play caller, period. So how much did it really matter? The answer is not a lot. Number two, if the offense sucks again in 2020, and Matt Nagy is the play caller again in 2020, there's nowhere you can run, bitch. There's nowhere you can hide. It's all totally, completely on your sorry ass hide. I'm sure they would still find a way to justify keeping them because they wouldn't want to pay multiple years for a coach on a contract that they don't have. That would be something a big-time organization does, acknowledging a mistake and moving the hell on. And the Bears are none of that. Willing to acknowledge mistakes or willing to do what big boy organizations do. They want to be some little stupid mom and pop shop, the family environment, and oh, look at the tradition and history. Hey, newsflash, you idiots. This Bears history, if it doesn't involve the 20s, 30s, and 40s, ain't that good. And even when talking about Papa Bear, need I remind you, the last 3 decades of his life, before he died in 83, the Bears made it to 2 NFL championship games, 1-1. That's it! Couple other playoff appearances in almost 30 years. So let's stop celebrating that legacy. That is something to look up to and something to admire. Because it largely isn't. And it's only continued in the post-Ditka years for crying out freaking loud. It's unbelievable. And this is exactly the type of third-rate Bush League moves that don't matter, that mediocre organizations make all the time. And the Bears have made another one. Like, could you blame anybody worth a crap as an offensive coordinator for not wanting to come to this ass show? I wouldn't want any part of it. You don't get play calling duties. There's no guarantee they're going to be there past 2020. Why the hell would I want to tie any part of my career to Mitchell Trubisky? You'd have to be insane or desperate. Well, guess what? I don't think Bill Lazor is insane, but he certainly looks like he was desperate for an NFL paycheck because he'd have to take this job with this sorry organization, period.